Hey, it's David Farmer. And today we are going to be talking about presenting figures and overcoming objections. Now, if you've been watching this channel for a while, you know that about 23 years ago, I developed a technology solution called ePencil. Ultimately teamed up with a guy named Grant Cardone and brought this tool to the marketplace. And really, it was a pioneering desking solution that most desking solutions in the market today kind of have come from. What I mean by that is that before ePencil, there was really not a computerized desking solution that generated 9 purchase payments, 9 lease payments in a computerized format that generated a worksheet that a salesperson could use to present figures and overcome objections. And really what this came from was when I was running a BDC in the late 90s, early 2000s. I was exposed to Grant Cardone and his teachings, and one of the things that he talked about is this idea of overcoming a customer's objection, especially when they called the dealership, and we would use information overload as a way to move that customer into scheduling an appointment. Information overload is a technique where you could say something like, hey, I'd be more than happy to give you the best price. In addition to best price, what I'd like to do is give you estimates on down payments, monthly payments, and figures on your car. And it was the idea of giving a customer estimates on down payments, monthly payments, and figures on their car that really gave me the idea to generate something that I could fax to the customer. So let me just go ahead and share my iPad screen with you real quick, and you can actually see this worksheet right here. So this was an original worksheet. This is actually dated, is there a date on this one? 1999. So this kind of gives you an idea of exactly when I created this. And actually I have my old folder from back in those time periods. And I have those worksheets right here. These are original worksheets back 20 years old that include the original ePencil worksheet, which we actually called Quick Pencil at first, and then also this sheet right here, which, let's see if I can show you guys that. This was our worksheet that we would share with a customer via fax or email when they would call the dealership, and say, hey, I'm looking for a best price on the Toyota Camry. I trained my BDC people, my BDC personnel, to let the customer know that we be more than happy to give them the best price on a Toyota Camry. In addition to best price, what I'd like to do is give you estimates of down payments, monthly payments, and figures on your car. Are you driving a Toyota now? And we'd use that word track to move the customer into the trade appraisal on the phone, and then move that customer even a little bit further to be able to get an appointment, and then follow that up with this fast fax. So this fast fax, what you're looking at right here, did exactly that. It gave the customer value package savings, dealership savings, a difference with their trade-in value. We gave the present vehicle information after we'd collect that information, and then we would provide retail payments and lease payments, giving the customer estimates on down payments, monthly payments, and figures on their car. Now, what this turned into is that we would actually get customers coming into the dealership, and they would have one of these payments circled, and they would bring it into the dealership and say, hey, this is, I was talking to David in the BDC. This is the vehicle I want to buy. This is the vehicle I want to trade in, and that's the payment I want to pay. So we called this circle and sign back in those days. And what ultimately happened is we kind of reconfigured utilizing this fast fax as a desking solution to be able to present figures to customers and then give a full disclosure. So you can see this was actually dated in January of 2000. So now this is 23 years old. Now we're in 2023, and we are giving estimates on retail payments and on lease payments based on a full disclosure. As back when Toyota Corollas were only 15.9 at full MSRP. So what I want to talk about today is how to present figures and overcome objections utilizing an ePencil style worksheet. So what I like to do is create some sort of kind of icebreaker. So you mean just think about how a customer is going to be interacting with you, and you've already gone through the vehicle selection, the demonstration, you've done the trade appraisal. Now you've just talked to your sales manager. Your sales manager generated a worksheet similar to this, and then now you're coming back to the customer and you're going to be presenting figures to the customer. Now, one of the things that I highly recommend is that you become extremely fluent with the words that you're going to be utilizing when you're presenting figures to the customer. So it's not something that you're making up at the point of presenting figures. You want to have this part of the process nailed down, so when you have the opportunity to present figures, which is the most important time in the entire sales process, is moving that customer into providing them a deal that they can agree to. So we do some sort of icebreaker. So just set the stage for yourself. You have a customer sitting at the desk. You're coming to the customer and you're going to present figures. What I recommend that you do is make sure that you are sitting straight across from the customer, because we're going to be talking about business. We're going to be presenting an offer to a customer, and we're going to want that customer to say yes or select something that's going to make sense for them. So we want to be in a position to be able to talk business. We don't want to be side by side. We don't want to be knee to knee. We want to be talking business. So we're going to be face to face with the customer with the desk in between us. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take our worksheet, we're going to set it down in front of the customer, and it's going to be upside down facing the customer so they can read it. And then the first thing that we're going to want to do is, again, kind of break the ice a little bit. And we're going to want to encourage agreement. And so again, we don't want to be guessing how we're going to be presenting these figures to a customer. We want to be able to have this down. The opening is going to sound something like this. Hey, congratulations on finding a vehicle that you want to own. All we need to do now is figure out how you want to pay for it. I have brought you some options. So that's going to be the opening. Maybe you want to add or change or modify that a little bit. You want to make it your own. But whatever you do, make it your own and own it, right? Hey, congratulations on finding a vehicle that you want to own. The hard part's over. All we need to do now is figure out how you're going to want to pay for it. I have brought you some options. So it's easy, breaking the ice a little bit, allowing me to get into this worksheet. Okay, so let's go ahead and share this again. So now we're going to say to the customer, now we have prepared options for you based on, I'm sorry, let's go ahead and start this over. I'm going to start right from the top. Congratulations on finding a vehicle that you want to own. All we need to do now is figure out how you want to pay for it. I have brought you some options. Based on the vehicle that you have selected and the current market value for your vehicle, we have prepared 9 purchase payments based on an average APR, 9 lease payments based on 12,000 miles per year. All I need you to do is circle the payment that's going to work best for you and your family, give me your signature right there, and we can get the vehicle ready for immediate delivery. So now what I have done is I have presented my figures. I've made it very easy for the customer to be able to review this worksheet right here and then do one of 3 things. And one of 3 things is going to happen. Now, it has always been said in sales that the first person who speaks loses, right? But really what we want to do is think about this dialogue meaning two people having a conversation about these figures in a way that's going to make us appear very easy, and we're giving the control to the customer on how they want to pay for the vehicle. That's why we have provided a bunch of different options, retail and lease, and I can guarantee you that the customer's payment is going to be somewhere within those 18 payments, and we just need to figure out how best we can get the customer to a payment that's going to make sense for them and their budget. So again, I said three things are going to happen. The first thing is going to that might happen after you do that presentation. Customer is going to sit down. He's going to be thinking about it, right? We've taken the pen and we've laid it across here. We've pointed it to the payments here so they can focus in on those payments. And then they're either going to, number one, ask a question. Number two, they're going to object. Or number three, they're going to circle and sign. So the question that they might ask is they might say something like, okay, so what I see here is that it says trade ACV, $4,000. Does that mean that you are giving me $4,000 for my car? Yes. So that's a question. We want to answer that as a question. We don't want to go into justifying what that value is. We don't want to say, what do you feel about that $4,000? We just want to answer that question. Customer might say, okay, based on what I'm looking at right here, it looks like you're giving me a discount of $1,776. Is that correct? Yes, that is correct. So just allow yourself to answer that question. Now, they might have an objection. That objection might be, well, I don't want to pay $343 a month with $500 down. I want to do something else, right? So that is the objection, and we're going to want to handle that objection. Or they're going to find a payment, they're going to circle in or sign it. We know what to do at that point, right? Let's go ahead and get our paperwork ready, get the vehicle into detail so we can get that customer through the process as quickly as possible and get them to take delivery of their new vehicle. So when a customer objects, what we want to do is we want to use this 9-payment grid to move the customer into something that's going to make sense for them. So in this case, the customer says, I don't want to put I don't want to be at $343 with $500 down. I want to do that with $0 down. And you can explain how this worksheet works. Well, I understand that you don't want to put the $500 down. We do we are a full-service dealership here. We have other options available for you. And as you can see, it appears that for about every $1,000 in down payment, that's going to change your payment about $30 per month. So if we were to use that and you didn't want to put the $500 down, that means that your payment is probably going to be about $15 more than it is right here. So in that case, that's going to put you at about $260 or $360 per month. At $360 a month with $0 down, does that put you in a position that's going to make sense for you and your budget? If so, let me just go ahead and write that in. Give me your signature right there, and we'll get your vehicle ready for immediate delivery. So I've overcame the objection. I gave the customer a solution, and then I asked the customer for their order again, asking the customer to give me a decision to purchase the vehicle. The customer might say, no, I don't want to put this down. And we can go into more other objection handling techniques, such as, hey, I completely understand. If you wanted to keep the $500 down and maybe move to a lease purchase instead of a retail purchase, we could actually keep your payments at $170 a month with $500 down. Is that something you consider doing? And if so, let me just go ahead and get your okay right here. Circle that $170. You'll get this vehicle ready for immediate delivery. No, I don't want to do that. So you can just move the customer around and find a payment that's going to make sense. A lot of customers will consider a lease if you can show them the value in the lease and the difference. And also, if the customer says no to the $170, what are they saying yes to? They're saying yes to the purchase. So we can keep the customer in the purchase scenario. So in this video, I wanted to introduce ways to be able to present a ePencil style worksheet and in a way that is going to be structured. And I would recommend that you write out the way that you want to be able to present numbers to customers, and team up with somebody on your team and role play. Write it down, memorize it, get it verbatim. So at any point, you could just sit down and say, hey, congratulations on finding the vehicle that you want to own. All we need to do now is figure out how you're going to want to pay for it. I have brought you some options based on the vehicle that you selected and the current market value for your car. We have prepared 9 purchase payments based on an average APR, 9 lease payments based on 12,000 miles per year. All I need you to do is circle the payment that's going to work best for you and your family, and then give me your signature right there, and I'll go ahead and get the vehicle ready for immediate delivery. Make sure that you have a way to present figures that you don't even need to think about, that it is just ingrained in your skills to be able to present those, and then think about the 3 things the customer is going to do after you're presenting these. And that is going to be to provide a question, they're going to circle and sign, or they're going to give you an objection, and you're going to want to handle those things appropriate. I appreciate the opportunity to continue to bring these videos to you. If you got any value out of this video whatsoever, please do me a favor, subscribe to this channel, give me a thumbs up. This is going to allow my content to go other places, and I appreciate the opportunity to do that. You're going to find this video plus many others at entice.com.